Addiction can feel like this impossible climb, but what if there was a totally different path to the top? In this explainer, we're going to dig into a therapeutic approach that does more than just, manage the symptoms. It's all about finding the real root of the struggle and from there, charting a whole new course to recovery. And this right here, this is the perfect metaphor for it, isn't it? Addiction, it can just loom over your life like a giant, insurmountable mountain. It casts this shadow that's so dark, it feels like every single step forward is just impossible. It's a steep, treacherous path, for sure. But here's the thing, and it's so important to get this right away. If you're facing this climb, you're not walking this path by yourself, not even close. We're talking about millions of people all around the world. People are grappling with this exact same challenge. Addiction is this shared human experience, and just understanding that, knowing you're part of a larger story, that can be the very first step toward finding your strength. Okay, so let's talk about this mountain of addiction. What does it actually look like in a person's day-to-day life? Let's zoom in a little closer. Well, that shadow it casts, it is long, and it touches pretty much everything. It can totally consume your relationships with family, with friends. It messes with your work. And maybe the worst part, it just chips away at your sense of who you even are. It diminishes your sense of self. So, if that's the problem, what's the solution? This is where our source material introduces a really interesting new approach, what it calls a unique therapeutic formula. Right, so this formula, which was developed by Dr.Deemanthe, isn't about just putting a Band-Aid on the symptoms. No, this is designed to get right to the core of the issue. And it does that by working with the subconscious mind. That part of us that holds all our deepest beliefs and kind of runs the show with our automatic behaviors. So what's actually in this formula? Well, it's a really powerful blend of well-established methods, and each one has a specific job to do. You've got hypnotherapy, which helps access the subconscious. Then there's psychotherapy for that deep emotional work. Neurolinguistic programming, or NLP, that's for changing thought patterns. And finally, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, to help restructure behaviors. So you can see each one is a crucial piece of the puzzle. And this really gets to the fundamental difference here. Instead of just treating the outward symptoms, the whole goal is to find and heal the source of the struggle. It's about transformation, not just treatment. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But what does it actually look like when you're in a session? Let's walk through how it all unfolds. The whole thing is really a collaborative journey. It all kicks off with a consultation just to understand your specific challenges. Then the therapist guides you into a state of deep relaxation, which quiets the conscious thinking mind. And that's when the real work begins, uncovering the root experiences that are stored deep in your subconscious. Now, step 4 is absolutely crucial. This is where you start reframing those old limiting beliefs and replacing them with new, empowering ones. And finally, you're given tools to take with you to keep reinforcing these changes long after the session is over. When you boil it all down, it really comes to this. Our beliefs shape our reality. So if you can change those deep-seated beliefs that are fueling the addiction, well, you can effectively rewrite the entire story of your life. And to see just how powerful this can be, let's look at a case study from our source material. This is the story of a woman named Sarah. So for years, Sarah was just completely caught in this painful cycle with alcohol. On the surface, that was her problem. She felt trapped, she felt hopeless, and she just couldn't see a way out. But was alcohol really the problem? Or was it just a symptom of something buried much, much deeper? What was actually driving her behavior? Well, through this therapeutic process, she had an incredible breakthrough. The therapy helped her uncover a core belief that was buried so deep in her subconscious, a belief that had been running her entire life without her even knowing it. And that belief was this painful feeling that she was fundamentally unworthy of love. And this is the transformation. See, the work wasn't about just fighting the urge to drink. It was about digging up that old, destructive belief and replacing it with a new, life-affirming one. She went from feeling, I am unworthy of love, to truly, deeply believing, I am deserving of love and happiness. What a shift. And by healing that root cause, the symptom, her addiction, it just lost its power over her. Sarah's story is amazing because it shows that once that underlying belief was transformed, she was finally able to break free. And today, she's living this full life of joy and connection. Wow. Sarah's story is such a powerful testament to what's possible, right? So, how does this apply to rewriting your own future? I mean, just take a second and imagine what that freedom would look like for you. A future where you're not a captive to addiction, where you have the energy and the clarity to go after your passions, to really nurture your relationships, to live your life to its absolute fullest. At the heart of this entire journey is a simple, powerful truth. It doesn't matter how steep that mountain seems right now, you have to remember this. Your life is absolutely worth fighting for. So, we want to leave you with this final thought. Take a moment and really ask yourself, if those chains were broken, what would your future look like? Who could you become? That's what we wanted to explore today. Thanks for joining us.